Welcome back to the final episode in the No Projects video series. In this episode, I want to say, could this work? You've heard the argument, you've heard the problems of projects, you've heard some ideas on the solution. I want to say, could this work? Could this work in the real world? My answer, you'll hardly be surprised to hear this, is yes. This can work in the real world. I know companies that don't use the language of projects. There's a couple of companies that spring to mind quite specifically. They just develop software and they sell it to customers. Maybe they do work for customers as well, but they just work. They recognise that creating software isn't about projects. The thing is, they don't think of themselves as no project companies. They don't think of themselves as beyond project companies. They don't need the language of projects to thinking of projects. They recognise that it's a continual process of producing software. Yes, software products. And as I said earlier on, many project managers will be saying that everything I'm describing here applies to the product model, and the project model is for another scenario. I quite agree with that. My question is, if that is the case, why is the project model, project language, project thinking everywhere? It's omnipresent, even inside the vast majority of product companies. There are some product companies which are free of projects thinking, the project model. However, many product companies keep the language of projects. They keep the idea they can dissolve teams. They keep the idea that things will be over. And they end up doing one project after another project after another project after another project. They don't get over the idea that these projects are never ending, and the project language is about end dates, and what they're doing doesn't have an end date. As a result, they complicate their own lives. So yes, there are companies that work beyond projects, and there's companies that work beyond projects but keep the project language, and they complicate things. However, there is a place where many of the ideas I'm talking about are embodied. The place I'm thinking of does use governance by results. They look at the outcomes and they see what happens. The place I'm thinking of does have fast failure, and they do fail cheaply, and they learn because that's the way they govern. That's the way they give out the money, is based on results, and those who fail don't get any more money, and those who succeed or show promise get more money. And because you control the money, you can fail cheap, and because money and time are entwined, you can fail fast in months. Where's this place? Sand Hill Road in California. For those of you who don't know it, Sand Hill Road is famously the home of venture capital firms. Some of these firms, the model we're talking about is pretty much the venture capital model when it comes to governance, when it comes to beyond the day-to-day work itself. Governance by results is very like the venture capital model. And venture capital companies have some successes, and they have many more failures. Specifically, I'm thinking of American, Californian, Silicon Valley style venture capital companies. They give out a little bit of money, they let the teams run with the money, get as much as they can from the money, do some experiments, try and enter a market, produce some products, and recognise that most of them will fail. But those that succeed will outweigh the losses and the failures. This governance by results model is much more like the venture capital model, and that means we need to be tolerant of what we traditionally call failures. That brings us pretty much to the end of the video series. I just want to leave you two thoughts. It ain't over, it goes on. And business as usual, something we've not talked a lot about, business as usual is not a dirty word. Business as usual is the normal way of doing things. If you'd like to know more about me, please look at one of my websites. There's my commercial one, Software Strategy. My book, Zampan, incorporates many of these ideas about team-centric software development. And finally, once again, the No Projects resources website. There's a large extended draft essay up there now. Please feel free to send me any questions. I can't answer a question in a video, although maybe I'll make some questions in our videos. And once again, a plug for the day workshop I'm doing in a few weeks' time here in London on managing beyond projects. More details on my website again. I hope you've enjoyed the series, and please get in touch if any of this rings a bell or you want to discuss any more. Thank you very much. Goodbye.